Mike can fly also.
Charlotte Soccer Show. We're live here at HopFly Brewing Company. What's up, everybody? Cheers. It's a match day. It's not just a match day, Danny Brams. Of course, Matt Geslin is here, a special guest. It's a Queen City Derby match day.
Derby day.
Derby day.
Cheers to that.
Lots of them around town as well.
Exactly right. Yes, a ton of Cincinnati fans here in the house, Danny. So let's just get this out of the way quickly. There's a Cincinnati scarf on the table, and I want to figure out why.
Well, this is from our friends, the Cincinnati fans. They've been here early and often. Shout out to all the orange in the house. We're hoping a little more blue and purple comes down here. We're 2 hours to kick off, folks, in Charlotte. It's time to get down to HopFly for sure. But we were lucky enough to meet a group of fans from the Norden, which is a Cincinnati FC or FC Cincinnati supporter group. The Norden is a neighborhood in Cincinnati, from what I gather. It's sort of an area where all the cool people live, and they donated us a scarf for our show. So this is it's Cincy colors. It's more about a shout out to the Norden. I'm not going full like trader mode. This is not sedition. Please do not excommunicate me from the fan base. I just want to give a little shout out to some friends. They bought me a beer. They gave us a scarf. We put it on the show.
They could have persuaded him. It sounds like, if they bought him a beer. But
That's one way.
I'm cheap. I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, you can persuade Danny Brams with some beers for sure. So what we're going to do tonight, there's so much that we're going to talk about, of course. We're about 2.5 hours from kickoff on Mint Street. We're expecting 30 to 35,000 tonight. This is the first Saturday that we've been at HopFly so far this season where it's been a beautiful Carolina blue sky Saturday.
Well, I'm going to quote Buster Poindexter when I say, hot, hot, hot. It's freaking hot out. It's looking nice.
Yes.
And it's time to party. I mean, I'm expecting the Fortress to be absolutely packed tonight.
So one thing I want to do is make sure that everybody who's watching us live, I appreciate everybody here. Make sure you drop in the comments. Justin Reynolds, hope the sound is working for y'all tonight. Haha. Cheers to that.
I mean, Justin, we'll talk about that offline, Justin.
That happened one time, man.
Yeah.
That happened one time. And we're ready to rock. So there's so many different topics that we're going to get into tonight. And first, we're going to start with the idea that is the Queen City Derby.
Right.
What is the Queen City Derby? Right? Because we talked to so many people this week. We talked to Tony Husband, Apple MLS Season Pass, about this being a derby match. Right? We talked to Lauren Failer as well, a journalist for the Queen City Press.
Laurel hinted that she had some ideas that she wanted to push back on the whole Queen City thing, but she had not done her research. She wasn't ready. So we're claiming real Queen City status. Does
anyone know who the first Queen City was? I feel like we were definitely the first Queen City, right?
I think.
I
mean, is there a Queen Cincinnati? That's my only question. There's a Queen Charlotte. I've never heard of Queen Cincinnati. That's my only thing. So
tonight we're going to play for the crown. We're going to play for the crown. And for what it's worth, Danny Brams has the crown. And
we got props.
We're playing for the crown tonight. There's no doubt about that. And I think one thing that makes obviously soccer so special, and MLS has a hard time doing this sometimes, Danny, is creating these derby matchups, right? Where the cities are drivable. Fan bases can get together and have a great time like we're doing right now at HopFly with an opposing fan base, right? It's so difficult for that to happen in MLS, and it's happening today. To me, that in the South, right?
I love that.
We think about Atlanta as our biggest rival, right? But it's still 4 hours down the road, right? So you have to really create these rivalry moments. And for me, the Queen City Derby for Charlotte FC, considering I don't want to pump this crew up, but we've got the reigning Supporter Shield champions in the house today on Mint Street. That's pretty fucking good.
And the undefeated 2024 first place team after 5 game weeks, not bad either. I mean, this is a massive matchup. That's why I think it'll be packed.
Yeah, and you mentioned Atlanta, which we talked about how to don that derby. Like, that should automatically come organically, right?
It's called the Atlanta Sucks Derby.
Yeah, and this is an easy one where it's Queen City. Both teams are Queen City, so to your point, John, it's hard to kind of find those organic derbies around town, and this one feels live and energetic for sure already right out of the gate.
That's why to me the biggest rival that we have is New York Red Bulls, because that's the team that's pissed me off the most in our 3-year history. But I'm really excited to get to learn to hate Cincinnati tonight. I gotta say, I can't wait.
I mean, the thing is, this crew here has made it so difficult to hate Cincinnati.
I know. They've been so nice. They've been so nice the whole time.
Good people from the Northern.
Yeah, I mean,
telling us, oh, we're not here to really be upset with you guys. We're so nice, you know.
Well, one of you start talking some shit and calling us names here.
Exactly. Give me a reason to hate y'all, please.
So, I mean, we're going to talk about a lot on the show. I've got a good topic for you, Danny.
Hit me.
Where does João Pedro fit into this lineup? He played absolutely beautifully last week against Columbus with Yuri Urinen back this evening at left back.
Yeah.
Where does he slot in? How do we find a way to get him time? We're going to talk about that on the pregame show.
I have an idea.
I
could give you the answer. I don't know if be careful what you ask for. That's all I'm going to say with that question. But yeah.
We're going to talk about the front three. And cheers to y'all. Take care.
Good luck, guys.
If you're down at the tailgate, hopefully you turned us on your phone. The Northern is on its way to you guys. So be careful is all I can say.
So we're going to talk about Patrick Agyemang, Enzo Capetti. I'm expecting Enzo Capetti to be available this evening, Danny Brams, which is the first time all season where, in my opinion, Dean Smith has had a real choice to make at the striker position. I'm excited to see how that turns out. And Scott Arfield, he's not in the lineup. He's somebody that started last game in the number 10 spot.
Last 2 games.
Let's talk about Breck Diagre. That's a good point, Danny. Breck Diagre moving into that number 10 role, right? We're going to talk about that, who fills in on the right wing. But before we get to all those juicy topics, before we get to all those juicy topics, we have Matt here for a reason, right?
We do.
Matt has done a fantastic job shooting photography for Charlotte Soccer Show, and of course, Matt Geslin Studios.
Appreciate that.
So we wanted to get you on the show before you head down to the Keep and just kind of talk about, you're here having a beer, enjoying yourself at the tailgate, but you're going to work tonight, and you're going to shoot this match field level. That's pretty fucking cool.
Obviously appreciate you guys keep giving me that access, which is great. So
you're part of the club, part of the team.
Appreciate that, and it's always a fun time down there. You feel that energy we've talked about before, and the Keep is it's loud. You don't realize it until you're actually even further down. It just basically echoes down on the field, and you feel the supporter section. You feel all the energy coming from the crowd all the way around the stadium. It's an amazing experience to be down the field for sure.
Close to Danny in the supporter section.
Yeah, it's all Danny. I can hear Danny.
You saw Danny on the field.
I did. Hopefully, you guys talked about his record when he's down there, so we'll have to get him down there. But
when I go, we win. That's all I can say. So.
But I can hear Danny even in the supporter section. I can hear everyone in the supporter section. It makes those guys talked about it, how impactful it is, and you really feel it when you're there.
Right.
I'm back in the supporters tonight, and we're going to be going crazy. We got a whole new song to go for Abada. We got all kinds of things going on.
Liel Abada. Oh, yeah.
Liel Abada.
Is that a big storyline today?
Obladi, Oblada, Liel Abada, vamos, Abada. It's so easy. The big thing with chants for Charlotte FC that we've had so much struggles with is the complication and all these lyrics. We don't need lyrics in chants. We just need simple Obladi, Oblada, Liel Abada, vamos, Abada.
Okay,
so easy.
I can always count on Danny to sing, so that's always easy.
Greg Franco came up with that one.
Charlotte FC has a new young designated player. His name is Liel Abada. The Israeli national arrived in Charlotte on Thursday. He trained on Friday. Whether he's available or not to start tonight is anybody's guess, but I expect him to be on the bench.
Matt obviously works with us, takes the photos. We use those photos. One thing we do a lot this year more of is soundbite editing clips, and we cover those with photos. Whenever you see photos covering little edit clips, those are Matt's photos. And if you like them, please make sure you follow. And better yet, call the guy and hire him. But one thing about Matt's work with Charlotte Soccer Show is it's for love. We don't have a budget, so we don't pay the guy. So we don't tell him what to shoot. He gets to shoot whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say, Matt, all that aside, I hope that you get to take a shot of Liel Abada standing on the touchline, ready to sub in. Big sign with the numbers.
Standing ovation.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Can't wait for that. I hope I get to do it as well. And to Danny's point, if there's anything you guys want, let me know. I'm happy to grab it.
How about comment? Can we get some comments?
Yeah.
Who do you want a great picture of? Matt will take that picture. You send him $2 on Venmo, and he will text you the picture.
I love this comment, by the way. John Hensarling, Liel scoring, calling it now.
New follower, John Hensarling. John Hensarling just followed the show the other day. Welcome to the Tifos community, John. Very happy to have you. Thanks for joining us and commenting.
There's been moments in Charlotte FC history, and that's why I love covering a club that's only in its third season.
Right.
Is that there's been moments where you remember and they create club culture. And tonight has the opportunity to potentially be that.
Yeah.
Tonight has an opportunity to create a moment for a new player who's looking for a new start, for unusual and honestly concerning circumstances. And Liel Abada is coming to Charlotte to get away from his former club where he did not feel comfortable.
Right.
And he has an opportunity tonight to not only feel embraced by this Charlotte FC fan base, to absolutely fall head over heels for the Charlotte FC fan base.
If you're Liel Abada and you walk down to baggage claim when you land in a brand new country that you've never set foot in before, and some crazy guy comes up and says, "Selfie!" Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But shout out to Elevation Jones for the love. Already one of the top 5 most famous pictures in club history, I think. Greg Franco selfie with Liel Abada at the airport baggage claim. Absolutely on fire. I want to see him. I think I wonder if people think he could start. I wonder if people think Liel could start because Dean's that crazy. Like, he might just start him. You know, I think he subs in the second half against 2030, but he might start. I don't know. Is that crazy to say? Is it crazy to think?
A little bit. Yes. A little bit. I would say 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
30 minutes would be fantastic.
Fantastic start.
But that being said, we on this pregame show last Saturday, right here outside, we were on the patio. We're not out there today because, by the way, HopFly's got this unbelievable new neon sign behind the bar.
That's brand new.
So we wanted to showcase
so
that
good.
today. It does
good photo already.
So we wanted to get that in the shop for the pregame show today and hang out inside. It's windy. And these, it's tough to do content out in the wind sometimes. You don't have wind screens on your microphones.
The wind is going to help. The wind is on our side this time though because it's hot as hell. Like last couple of times, home games it's been cold and windy. Now it's warm and windy. I'll take that all day. It's really nice out. It's really nice out.
But last week we were on the patio and we just assumed that Kerwin Vargas was not going to play.
That's why I'm saying Dean's crazy.
So I appreciate you kind of throwing that into the hat and saying
Dino's at the wheel.
Could Liel Abada make a start?
Put the graphic up. Dino's at the wheel.
Dino is at the wheel. He's going to do that tonight. So Matt, before we let you get out of here, one thing I want to do is just kind of get your take on the match tonight. Obviously, you've watched this team very, very closely this season, and you can give a prediction if you want to, but
you don't have to.
Also want to basically
Dino's at the wheel.
How the game flow goes, right? If you're going into this match to shoot the match, right, you have to kind of really be thinking, where is this game being played? Where do I want to position myself on the field?
What's the game within the game?
Game within the game.
Absolutely.
What's your strategy look like tonight?
Yeah, I mean, of course, and hoping for a big result for, the home team. But with Cincinnati being where they are, you kind of want to lean and be focused a little bit more on their side to start. Just to kind of get a sense of how things are going. Every game is different. Of course, the team is going to come out really energetic, pushing front foot forward, especially behind with all the fan support. So maybe, leaning a little bit towards the FC side to start, depending on which side they go towards. If they go towards the supporter section, it's easy to kind of mix and match. But, this is a big game. Of course, we had a huge result last week against Columbus, which is a nice little segue into playing the other Ohio team. And I do think a good result tonight as well against both Ohio teams. So I'll say a 1-1 draw. Cincinnati still trying to figure themselves out a little bit. It's a little different team than what was last season. But I think a 1-1 draw is a good result. And I think there'll be some beer being thrown probably on myself as I had at the first game in town, but probably not from Danny Brams. But
1-1 draw. What? Get out of here.
I think a 1-1 draw is a sensible prediction.
I'm ready to win.
I think it's a sensible prediction.
If you get 4 points out of both these teams, that's a pretty good 2 weeks.
It's winning time, baby.
All right, well, we're going to let you go.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate you heading down to the stadium now. Look for Matt on the sideline tonight. He's going to be there shooting the match.
Look for him on Instagram.
Look for him on Instagram as well at
M. Gesslin Studios. M. Gesslin Photo, excuse me. There's 2.
Gesslin.
Make sure you follow him on Insta. He has great work. You can follow us on Instagram as well, Charlotte Soccer City. Cheers to you, Matt.
Only follow
guys.
us if you love amazing content, though.
Yeah. I think we've got a lot of guests standing by today.
We've got more. Matt's not the only guest, folks.
Give him the sign.
We
Give him
got
the
a
sign.
legend.
Give him the sign. Give him the signal. Level Up Luke is here from the Queen City Soccer Show, Queen City Soccer Podcast.
Sign.
What?
I saw the sign and it opened up Level
Let's
Up.
go, boys. Here we are.
Okay.
Hey, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing.
Now that Luke is here.
Cincinnati, can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Luke, welcome.
Skyline Chili.
Welcome to Charlotte Soccer.
That's bad. Boo.
Welcome to Charlotte Soccer Show.
Thank you, guys. Good to be back.
It's great to see you.
Welcome, my man.
It's great to be on the show today. Cheers to you. First of all, what are you
Cheers
drinking?
up.
What beer did you go for today at HopFly?
Well, so I started out with the jalapeno saison, and that is tight as hell. Honestly, I should have stayed with that. I went with the light pick, the crunch time.
Okay, yeah,
because we're getting closer to game time.
Right.
I need to bring it down a little bit,
Getting
but
closer to
the
crunch time.
jalapeno saison honestly goes toe to toe with the Birdsong jalapeno pale ale. I think it's up there. It goes toe to toe with it.
I love to hear that.
I'm not a heavyweight, but I go 12 rounds.
The thing I love about the crunch time here that's always on tap is that it's a crushable lager, right? Where if you're not sure what you want, you can try so many different beers that they have here.
Absolutely.
You can just it's almost like it's a transition beer. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, you have a nice IPA or you have a nice sour. Transition with a quick crunch time, you throw it back, and then you can make your next selection.
What I'd say is it keeps the party going.
It's the old it gets you over fastball.
Okay, so I'm gonna pivot off of that. How does Charlotte FC keep the party going tonight?
I'll tell you what, I think it's all about mentality. I think it's about Dean Smith getting the players to buy in and come at this game with the seriousness, the intensity that it deserves. Because I will tell you, as a fan coming into this game, even as fan media, I walked into this thinking, I don't know what to ask about this game. I feel like it's so straightforward. It's so down the middle. This is Cincinnati. We know what they're all about. We're Charlotte FC. We've seen what we're about. But we have players returning from injury. We have a new signing coming in. Get that intensity up, show out. And on the pitch, it's going to either be a blowout if we show up, or it's going to be a 0-0 draw if we just coast into it.
Okay, so let me just dive into this. A blowout is what to you?
3-0. I think 3-0. I could easily see that happening. That's unlikely by Vegas standards, but if we have that intensity, man, and we can get some new connections going, some hit that zone, get that flow with Abada, the cross is coming in, Vargas, maybe he gets a new lease on life.
I'm loving everything this guy's saying.
I'm telling you, man, Patrick or Enzo, either one could feast in the box tonight.
Right. It doesn't even matter who starts. Do you have a prediction of who starts?
Well, I think you have to keep Patrick, but I want to see Enzo get minutes. I want to see a split.
I think I predict Enzo will start because he's the DP and he's ready. But is he
ready? Like, is he actually ready?
I could also see 30 minutes for the guy coming back from injury makes sense as well, right? You start the guy who scored last game. Well, so I could see it either way, but I kind of feel like Enzo will start. That's my prediction. Although it's tough. It's really like, I want to ask, let's just go into that, because I was going to ask you a different question, but let's just go to that.
Sure.
What's the mental management that Dino's dealing with here in terms of, he's got Patrick. Patrick just opened his account. Patrick's flying high.
Yeah.
Patrick also is coming from a mindset of knowing and seeing Cambridge get a brace and get benched. Bender get a brace and get benched. Like, Patrick has seen this happen last year. He's been told it's different.
Christian Lattanzio is not managing this team anymore.
That's what I'm saying. But like, you can say that. You can say he's not there. But until you prove that you're actually different, does it matter?
I think Dean's done plenty to prove it's different.
If Ajimon gets benched for the money man, coming off of opening his account, is he going to feel different or the same? That's what I'm questioning. And at the same time, you also have to manage Enzo's emotions, who's very, he takes note of every single thing that happens to him.
I think you're getting at the point here is that you do have to worry about your DP's mentality.
Right.
And we've heard rumors coming into the season about Enzo's mentality. I will tell you, man, the first thing that started changing my opinion on Enzo was seeing some of these behind-the-scenes Twitch videos that he's posting online where he's out in a garage with his friends practicing headers against a wall, like going at it. And I'm like, this dude might have the grind set. He might have the mentality. And then coming into this season, he didn't open his account for the first few games. And we start hearing rumors building up. What are you going to do? I honestly, if I'm Dean, that's my biggest concern. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know the locker room vibe.
Right.
But
we don't know, but we can guess.
But I'm saying if Enzo's mentality is actually solid, I start Pat.
Okay, hear me out on this take, right?
Okay, I like that.
We talked about Liel Abada and him scoring a goal tonight and how incredible that would be. Would it actually be better if Enzo opened his account tonight?
Absolutely.
If Enzo was the player
in a heartbeat. He needs the confidence. He's a guy who's very egotistic.
Right.
And I mean that in the best possible way, because as a striker, you need to be egotistic. You need to care about finishing and scoring goals, because at the end of the day, we are judging you on your production. We are judging you on your goal tally. Enzo Capetti, open up your account, score some goals today, man. I almost said some bad words, but score some goals today, Enzo.
Score some fucking goals, Enzo.
You're allowed to say fuck on the show, which is really nice.
Right. And
I'm just saying. We need Enzo's success is the team's success.
That's true. That's 100% true.
He was my preseason pick to be our MVP, most improved player, best player. So I want to see it from him. I want to see it. But I'm going to be critical when you get opportunities and you do not finish.
So hear me out. Why not just start Enzo Capetti at striker and Liel Abada on the right wing and just have them both trot out there to start the match?
Because Pat has performed. He performed last match and the match before. Big Pat. When we needed him, we called upon him. It's the same reason I would say start Diani. Did he perform
the match before, though? Because that header against Nashville needed to be on target. I mean, he knows it. I don't need to.
That Nashville game was highway robbery. We both know it.
I know, but Patrick had the chance to right all those wrongs by putting a header on frame.
He proved his quality in the Red Bulls game in the postseason last year.
I love Patrick. I'm just trying to be fair and balanced.
And here's the thing, though. If you start Patrick, he is going to be humble.
That's a good comment here, by the way.
We got the greatest comment of all time.
Let's go.
Keep going.
Christian I was going to say, Stevenson says, Luke going to wake up my entire apartment building right now.
Keep going.
Let's go. Well, I'm saying if you start Patrick, right, he's going to be humble about it.
Okay.
If you do not start him, he's going to be humble about it.
Good point.
If you don't start Enzo and his mentality is not on point, it could be a problem.
That's a fantastic point, but is that taking advantage of Patrick's good nature?
If you're a manager, if you're the gaffer of the team, you have to take everything into consideration.
All right.
I think it's a fantastic topic. I really wanted to dive in to this topic with you, Luke, because I think this is the first time that Dean Smith is making this decision. Enzo Capetti or Patrick Ajamong, who starts at the 9. And the other thing I would ask in this situation is, do you think the money and the contract plays any role into this decision?
I think the more important question is versus the previous administration. Because I feel like with Dean, he's a straight shooter. He's told us from the beginning he values performance. And I think with Latanzio, and I know we don't want to speak ill about our ex, but, I mean, he was the kind of guy who didn't share anything with us. And it seemed like he made a lot of decisions based on the salary conditions.
I think if your ex goes cold fish, you're allowed to talk bad about him.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think that's a really good point, is that last year it probably would have mattered. This year, and the key line that matters to me is what Dean Smith said preseason, is when he said, these aren't my VPs. I didn't sign these guys.
They have to impress me.
Exactly.
So if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Exactly right. And I'm still waiting for Nimfasha Berkimez to make an impact on one of these home games. It probably won't be tonight.
What I'm hearing from you, though, Johnny, is that tonight's starting 11, which is roughly – an hour away from now?
Let's go.
Yes.
Is a statement. Whatever statement it is made, it's going to be a statement.
Well, because if you think about the depth of this roster right now, yes, you're missing Scott Arfield, but specifically on the back line and the back 4 and in the midfield, you feel pretty good about who you have right now.
Sure.
Extremely. And I'm firmly in the camp of play Jalen Lindsay every damn game.
Well, Jalen hasn't seen it in MLS play.
I'm a founding member. I'm a founding member of play Jalen Lindsay every damn game. I think Byrne has been the most surprising player this year for me because he is a fucking dog.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
Byrne
getting after
kept Lindsay off the field for sure.
Oh my God. I would rather see you move one or the other to the other side so you can play both of them. And I love Yao Pedro, and I know how you feel about Yao Pedro.
But Dean said, did you hear Dean? He said,
yeah.
He said, one thing about me is I love left-footed left backs. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, it's like it's Urine or João Pedro left back. João Pedro fit it. Sorry, this is where I said be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, okay. I want to hear your take on
Don't
this.
ask the question if you don't want the answer, because I don't want to give the answer.
I need to know the answer, though. That's
Tell
the
me.
thing.
Because we know that João Pedro, as fun as he was watching him be at left back and serving that ball that Westwood banged home the second ball rebound, as great as that was, we know João Pedro played center back most of the year for Crown Legacy, and he prefers to be center back.
And we did hear this week that he wants to be a center back,
right? And Dean's been looking for a left-footed center back. And so I look at my boy.
Oh, no.
My boy!
Oh,
we
no.
are! Andy Privet. I love Andrew Privet. I love the whole Privet family. I was lucky enough to meet them on the streets of Broadway.
Don't do it,
Danny. So if there's anywhere for João Pedro to fit in, unfortunately, I think it is that left center back Andrew Privet spot.
Yeah, and hey, we might have a special surprise for you guys after the game. If you're able to join the post-game press conference, we've requested Andrew Privet's availability.
Okay.
So we'd love for you guys to join us. And my co-host Cole, specifically as a South Carolina guy, wants to know more about the Andrew Privet story.
I mean, I hope Privet has a great game tonight. I love Privet. But I'm just saying, if there's a position that's vulnerable for João Pedro to steal, it's Privet's spot. I'm not predicting what will happen. I know enough about Privet's comfort level. We wrote about it on the Substack. We know Privet feels good where he's at. Can he come out and have a great game tonight?
Let me give you some perspective here, right?
Hit me.
If you're a center back and you keep a clean sheet against the best team in MLS,
Lucho freaking Hernandez,
and then you get benched, it's a problem.
Right.
There is no way, shape, 100%. Or form that Dean Smith is sitting Andrew Privet tonight.
Especially if you like wine. I'm not saying tonight. I'm saying long term. Not tonight at all. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, let me ask you guys.
Okay.
João
Pedro fits on the bench tonight.
Okay, there you go. That's
all I'm saying.
That's the direct answer that I want.
Let me ask you guys, as media folks, much more than me, are you familiar with the NFL player Dwight Freeney?
Yeah. We know Dwight Freeney. We love Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney was known for his what? Spin move.
Spin move, yeah. Swim move.
Fucking hook.
Yeah.
And what does Andrew Privet have? He has an NFL-looking move around and hook on the fucking defensive side where he is taking the ball away from the opposing players and not getting carded for it.
Right.
In a way I do not see in MLS.
This is why we bring Level Up Luke on the show.
Special talent.
For Dwight Freeney references.
And did Andrew Privet do anything to lose the spot?
No. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
No.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Except that Dean already said he wants a left-footed center back. That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling you what might happen down the road.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm not telling
I see him with that spin move and that elbow.
Okay,
and it gets me excited.
Privet family, forgive me. Happy Easter. I hope you have a great
I'm gonna
cheers to the Privet family. We love you.
I'm gonna pivot on this show for a couple different reasons.
And first and foremost, I think it's really important to note that Brant Bronico is
Let's
back
go.
tonight.
Let's
in
go.
The squad. He's healthy. He'll be in the squad.
Bro,
He'll likely
set.
be on the bench. So he's somebody for me that is an unbelievable fan favorite. He's somebody that has connected with this Charlotte FC community more so than anybody else on this roster. And the fact that Brant Bronico is back tonight is it's a really uplifting moment.
Available for selection.
For the club, for the fan base.
What if Westwood? What if we don't know and someone Westwood or someone else picked up a knock on Friday? We don't know, and Bronny runs out there's a starter.
Well, can I break some news on your show?
Please,
some breaking news.
Yes.
Exclusive for the Charlotte Soccer Show. Brant Bronico told me personally that he is ready to go today. Ready to go, directly.
Yes,
that's a quote.
100%.
I'm here for it.
He's ready to go.
And we're ready to see him.
Yes.
My only question is, can he supplant Diani, who's had some great games in the starting lineup? That's my question. I don't know.
Diani is like a.
Oh no.
Diani is what do we?
King without a crown.
We used to we had a term back in the day that was called undroppable. Great comment from VIP Von Pullman. Stability. I agree, and I'm so like. I hope my speculation there wasn't meant to say that was happening tonight. I hope everybody watching realizes that I'm talking about long term. Obviously, stability tonight is exceptionally important.
Okay, two things here.
In terms of the matchup,
we love you.
Two things here.
Vaughn, you should be sitting in this chair next. By the way,
It's great to hear from
That's
Vaughn.
fair. That's fair.
not after.
No, I mean, hey, regardless, that's fair.
I'm just saying we want him. I'm just saying. I already said this is why you've already given 3 takes that I blew my mind.
Hey, Von Pullman is the biggest brand I know.
One thing I'm excited about is I just realized this now, is that our good friend and great Tifos, Michael Volak is getting FaceTime on this show the entire time. There he is over
Mikey
Luke's shoulder. Michael Volak.
We love him. The original Tifos.
Hey, Mike, give us a wave. Give us a wave. There he is. He's getting FaceTime on the show the whole time.
Where's
Thank
Jenny?
you. There's Mike hanging out on the
There's
show.
a lot of Tifos here, and we finally the Charlotte to Cincy fan ratio has dramatically improved since we started this stream.
Yes.
I'm going to give all the credit to us for that. Rebecca Bronico's in the house, by the way.
Let's go.
The Brownies have a great relationship with.
Follow their Instagram.
You know,
I wonder why I started talking about Brent right there in that second.
No, imagine that. Exactly. Segue. Yeah, exactly. But that's the soccer city, man. That's the soccer
and it's happening today, and people are hanging out. This is a really, really good vibe at HopFly. Right, we can fire off so many takes on this match.
Right,
we can predict this match, but I think first and foremost, what we need to do is you just need to dive into the fact that, you know, whether there's an unnamed dad here, whether there's
the anonymous dad,
whether there is
he's bouncing.
Cincinnati fans,
he's out of here. We can give away. I wasn't going to say the anonymous dad was here, but he's gone now, so now we can reveal that he has been here.
Whether it's Cincinnati supporters, whether it's Charlotte FC supporters, it truly is just one of those days, Danny Brams, where we're here at HopFly, we're having a fantastic time, and you got to make sure you don't drink 12 beers before you head into the match today. You got to pace
I know
it's a challenge.
I'm doing way better than last week. Last week, I think the whole vibe of myself last week was like disruptive force on the pregame show. And we just had you in brackets. We're having high-level conversations. Just yelling at people. But we've got the Tifos of the year coming in now, by the way. Kevin Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tifos of the year, the one and only.
Let's go.
Kevin Anderson, come at least. You don't have to get on the mic, but come at least wave to the people. This guy's famous, everybody. This is the freaking guy.
Let's go.
This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy. To quote Swingers.
It's so wild to be back on the show because we talk about like a hat on a hat. Me and Danny Brams on the same show.
I know.
It's a hat on a hat.
It's like you talk about two guys who are trying to do the exact same thing at all times.
Oh, man.
It's just disrupt and be funny. Right here.
And so, Luke,
our best.
So you said it's either going to be a blowout or a 0-0, right?
Yeah.
That seems like you're waffling there. Which one is it?
I would love to see the 3-0. I would bet on the 0-0. So heart and head, right? Like it's that difference of my betting line isn't what I'm cheering for. My betting line is what I think is most likely statistically, and then my heart is telling me a completely different thing. And when I watch the game, I have that expectation going in, so I can either be very surprised and very excited or heartbroken again. And now that betting's legal in North Carolina, who knows? Who cares?
You know what? Guys in the locker room listening to this right now, I'm sure you're streaming it as you walk in, getting your fit pics on the IG. Don't break Level Up Luke's heart. Please, don't do that. Not tonight. What up, Vicky? How you doing?
When we talked to Tony Husband, Danny, I think that was our biggest takeaway. Our biggest takeaway in having a conversation with Tony Husband earlier this week, who's calling the game tonight for MLS Season Pass.
Love Tony Husband.
Is he talked about how
wish he was my husband.
He talked about how strong the Cincinnati defense was.
That was such a good episode.
He talked about how strong the Charlotte defense was.
Right.
So
and Laurel talked about it too.
Everyone
else thinks this is all about. Everyone else thinks this is going to be 0-0.
Yeah. Well, I mean, statistically, it makes sense. But I can see the floodgates opening also.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna side with the 3-0, and here's why. Is because last week I'm sitting on that patio and I said to myself, hey, I think Charlotte FC is going to win tonight. It feels like this team is one of the best teams in MLS at home. And I didn't have the guts to back that, right? I called for a 1-1 draw, and Danny Brams did have the guts to say 3-0. And I was sitting in the crowd, and it was 2-0.
Right.
And I'm looking across, and I see Danny in the vault, and I'm saying, he's the one that knew.
Me too. I was looking at another angle, but yes.
Yeah, he was the
The word guts is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Is all I'm going to say, but I appreciate it.
So hear me out, right? And this is my thought process behind the 3-0 actually being possible for Charlotte. Tonight, right? Is that 0-0 would be very, very beneficial to Cincinnati.
Sure.
Cincinnati would come into town.
They're fine with it.
They would take the 0-0 and they would go home.
Keep it moving.
0-0 does not work for Ashley Westwood.
It does not.
0-0 does not work for Patrick Agyemang, Lorenzo Capetti. And because of that, I think the mentality that Charlotte FC has tonight is a much better mentality than Cincinnati.
You just put a huge idea in my head, which is, yes, Agyemang opened his account.
Yeah.
But Ashley Westwood also opened his account. I mean, he might have the goals flowing himself as well, the captain.
The biggest thing I can say about Brant Bronico playing today is the mentality.
Right.
I can tell you that I talked to his best friend, Clay Dimmick, with the Charlotte Independents, our friend, my friend and yours.
Captain Clay.
And Clay told me he doesn't want any team coming into Charlotte and thinking they can get a win. And Brant Bronico has the exact same mentality. So if you put Brant Bronico on the pitch, that's the grind set. Is you come into the keep and you're going to have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that Bronny has an appearance tonight. He probably doesn't start, but Bronny will sub in the second half when we need to lock down the lead.
Well, you know what's really interesting is that Dean Smith has gone out of his way to mention Brant Bronico in his press conferences over and over.
He can run all day long.
We don't need Duracell. We got Bronico.
Yeah.
He said
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah. He said that. So anybody who's checking in now, we've got a bunch of viewers now logging in. We're getting closer to the match. I just want to say what's up. We're here at HopFly. Welcome to Charlotte Soccer Show. It's our pregame show live here at HopFly. The vibe is actually absolutely incredible right now. And we're drinking, by the way, Danny and I are a Fresh Drop Friday.
Right.
High Time.
High Time is
back
back
on tap. Crunch
It's
Time
back.
is on tap as well.
Looks like High Time's back on the menu, boys. I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching in Thailand. I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching in Lithuania. I want to say
Everybody in
thank you to
Gastonia.
everyone who's watching in Liberia. I want to say thank you to
Everybody
the
in
tifos
Union
around the
County,
world.
North Carolina.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Interesting comment here.
South Carolina.
Jono says,
I love Jono.
Tiger Small's parents are coming to their first game tonight.
I saw that as
let's
well.
go.
I saw that as well.
Tiger Small's on the bench. I don't think he gets any time, but it's just this team is getting healthy pretty quickly.
Let's go.
And the depth is coming here. And a super draft pick, Tiger Smalls, he plays on the wing. If Charlotte FC is able to have success, it would be really fun. We haven't had this so far this season at home. It would be absolutely fantastic if Charlotte FC had a nice 2 or 3-0 lead towards the end of the match, and some of these players get their debuts. I'm looking for a Tiger Smalls debut tonight.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Let's go.
It doesn't have to be. It just remember Nympha in the first match.
Yeah,
we're up 1 goal. Nympha
Absolutely.
gets his debut. That could happen for a guy like Tiger Smalls tonight.
I think that's a really interesting take. I think we have so much more depth now, and we're allowed 5 subs, right? So we have more of an opportunity to rotate our players, and that is the biggest tool in Dean Smith's belt, his utility belts. Let's put up the Pat signal and take our utility belts.
That's pretty good.
Oh my God!
That's pretty good.
This is why we bring Love Luke on the show.
I'm saying, like, he has so many more resources now he has not had in the previous games because of our return to health and the new addition coming in. I cannot wait to see what he rolls out and what his game plan is, because this will be the test. Dean Smith, what do you have tonight? What can you show us? This is going to be a coaching matchup. Pat Noonan for Cincinnati is known as one of the best coaches in MLS.
Absolutely.
Noonan. And Dean Smith is coming in as one of the most hyped coaches coming into the season. It's a coaching matchup. Dean Smith, give us some rotation, and let's see the fire from our players today.
You know, it's a great point because we never talked about Danny Brams, how Wilfred Nancy was not on the touchline.
I know. We
last
never,
week for
never did talk about that.
I asked Dean in the press conference about the speculation he could be going to England, and he said, "Oh, we don't deal with speculation." Well, we don't deal with speculation.
Right.
Guess what, Dean? We deal with speculation. We're fan media.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We absolutely can. So, cheers to you, Luke. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. It's a pleasure to have you. I think there's are we having any other guests on the show today?
I don't think we have any plans to.
Yeah, okay. All right. So,
well, I want to say this. We have a ticket. If anyone is watching the live stream and needs a ticket, I meant to say this at the beginning.
I did too. I
will edit another ticket as well.
If there's anybody out there who's watching and is like, man, I wish we could go to the game tonight. It's not too late. Get to HopFly. We got another 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so. The Pat signal. Get that on a T-shirt.
Let's go. Hey.
Exactly.
It's a great T-shirt.
Call Pat, baby. Call Pat. The Pat signal.
So we've been I realize we've been saying, oh, level up Luke, level up Luke, level up Luke. But there might be some people out there living under a rock that might not know who Level Up Luke is. So, Luke, tell us about Queen City Soccer Show. Luke has his own show that he does. He does a lot of coverage of the team and independence. Brag yourself up a little bit, man. You've earned it.
It may seem like a pale imitation of the premium product that you guys have.
It's not about that.
But, hey, there's so many outlets that love soccer in the Queen City. We're one of them. Covering Charlotte FC, Independence, Crown Legacy, and we've branched out this year to cover more Carolina soccer, Greenville Triumph, Carolina Core, and really just we're even spotlighting amateur clubs like the VE Club in Pennsylvania, the SC United coming up soon.
When it does the tournament, I'm sure
US Open
you
Cup.
dove down the rabbit hole,
right?
And you've done so unabashedly, and it's been fantastic to see you dive down that rabbit hole.
As an online troll myself, if somebody calls me out for being an MLS shill, I just want to double down and be like, hey, guess what? Here's some amateur soccer coverage.
Right.
So it's one of those things.
He's a U.S. Open Cup sicko. He's the president of the American Outlaws chapter in South Carolina.
Let's go.
Charlotte Independence.
Against the
South Carolina Heat.
Absolutely.
This coming week.
Tuesday night. Hey, Tuesday night, come out and see us at American Legion Memorial Stadium. It's going down like a WWE promo. We're going to have our masks on. We're going to be ready to go. The signs, the banners, the band. We're going to make it loud and proud. The only team remaining in Charlotte in the U.S. Open Cup is playing at American Legion Memorial Stadium Tuesday night. Mech Reserves, Blue Furia. We're doing a tailgate. Let's go, baby.
It was great on Saturday, and it was awesome watching a stoppage time winner for the Independence. Against
my God,
Spokane. I know it's really Spokane, but I call it Spokane.
Yeah, you really have been confusing me with that. Lately.
But I will say this: speaking of the Independence,
my boy Danny Brams,
you don't really understand that this QC Derby, this Queen City Derby, to bring it full circle to what we were talking about at the start of the show. You can put the graphic up. The Queen City Derby started when FC Cincinnati was a USL club and used to play against the Independence in USL Championship. Back before Charlotte ever got started. So
yes,
we have a long history of Charlotte versus Cincy real QC action, and tonight's the night to claim it.
It is.
And claim it.
What's your official prediction?
My official prediction is 2-1. Lucho Acosta has his moment, but we're already up, and it's all good. It's going to be tough. Lucho Acosta, the one-man show. I wanted to talk a little bit about the circus that is a one-man show and how if you can just shut this guy down, and Cincinnati's absolutely incapable of achieving anything. So that's what we're going to do. And not my circus, not my clowns. We fucked Cucho. We'll fuck Lucho next. And
it's a big match.
Fuck him.
It's a huge match.
It's massive.
And I've got to say the three of us are on the same page. Charlotte FC probably gets the win tonight. I'm going to put myself down, Danny, for a 3-1 because I feel like the floodgates are ready to open at home.
Tell me, Johnny, who gets the goals?
I've got Patrick Ajmong, of course, getting a goal. I've got Kerwin Vargas slotting one home as well. And I think that you're going to see a goal off the bench. And I think that could be Enzo Capetti coming in to open his account. So my opinion, I've got Patrick Ajmong, Enzo Capetti, and Kerwin Vargas. And if one of them doesn't get a goal, one of the three will get two.
Final opinion on the 9. Who starts?
Well, we already went through the back four. We know who's going to start on the back four.
Yep.
We know who's going to start in the midfield as well, most likely. We've got Ashley Westwood in the midfield. We've got Breck
Gianni or Bronico
at the 10, and we've got Jabril Gianni
starts
as well. That's the midfield and the back line for me is totally set.
Right.
Tonight, the decision is at the front three.
Sure. Do you start Abada?
No, I think Abada's, and I'd love to see him get his debut tonight. And the reason why I'm thinking of as Abada as a welcome to Charlotte, bring him on, standing ovation, endear yourself to the fans, the supporters endear themselves to Abada as well.
It's almost a better moment for him if he subs on to a standing O.
It's a momentum changer.
I agree. Totally
it's a momentum changer for the coach.
That's how soccer works, right?
That's why they make the money, right? It's to make those decisions.
Right.
Exactly. So
we can always
that's why I love soccer, because feelings are oftentimes more important than facts. It's just the fact of the matter.
The Abada reception tonight off the bench will be as powerful as any goal we've seen scored at the Fortress. That's just how this game works. That's how emotional this moment is going to be tonight. It's a huge moment in Charlotte FC's history tonight.
Yep.
It's a beautiful Saturday as well. So what we're going to do,
HopFly's a lot busier, by the way, since 45 minutes ago.
We're going to cut the show off. We're done. We're going to go hang out with the
Hey, can I just say before we go, props to you guys because what a great spot and what a great pregame show. The weather is beautiful. The wind feels nice and breezy. There's a DJ out there. What is going on? This is amazing.
There's a beer tent outside.
Thank you guys again for doing this.
It's a better show because you were on it, Luke. Thank you so much. We've the Saturday shows have been a great spot for us to just feature friends of ours who are on other shows. And I'm so glad that you're in that freaking tradition. And life is great. I like get down. If you're not here already, get the hell down here because it's
there is so much. There is so much room for fan media in this fan base, I'm still the #1 fan of you guys.
Thank you,
and I will fight anybody in the comments. I will fucking fight you if you say otherwise, because I'm still the #1 fan.
Cheers to you, Luke. Thanks so much for being on the show today. Danny, cheers to you as well. Another great Saturday at HopFly Brewing Company. Well done. It's a pregame show here. Do us a favor, right? Do us a favor.
Do me a favor.
We're going to be back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Danny. It's going to be
That's the real show.
It's going to be a recap show. We're going to be here tomorrow at HopFly at 5 o'clock. We love to have fun on Saturdays, but what we'll do on Sunday every week, and our friend Anna Whitty will be here as well.
Anna's back?
Anna will be here tomorrow.
So it's going to be a real show then. Yeah.
It's going to be a real show. So we'll break down the match.
Shout out to the Norden.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.
And I told them, hey, we're going to recap the match.
Right.
Check in with us tomorrow at YouTube at 5. If you see the Cincinnati fans walking around town, showing some love, they are nice people.
We hope they find strength in each other on their sad flight home.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here on the show. If you're on our YouTube page right now, make sure you like this video.
Right.
Make sure you drop us a comment. Make sure you subscribe.
Create a fake account and subscribe with that one as well, and you never have to log in again. It's fine.
Follow us on Twitter at For the Crown Baby. Follow us on Instagram at Charlotte Soccer City. But Danny, let's go have some fun. Let's go hang out with the people. Let's go hang out with our friends. Let's go hang out with the family. And as always, it's For the Crown, baby.